uh, to, to scale our system blockchain. And why BaaS model is needed? There are two issues that we need it. The first is the complexity of the blockchain technology. Common developers they meet the issue when build a blockchain system. Such as they use existing framework and they don't really know entirely about it, and it may cause some error in the in in the work that they build it. And the second issue is the lack of professional knowledge. Um, this issue will cause the error, but not in the building, also in the runtime when our blockchain is running. And their solution for this is devote a lot of time to learning the underlying technology of the blockchain rather than focusing on the design of the business code.
Yeah.
But
So it means that when we use the bar system, so you may not need to understand too much about the blockchain technology. You don't need to do some complicated code. Yeah, so you can bar to develop your business code quickly, right?
Yeah. BaaS can help us to build and monitor our system in
So before we continue, I think you should make a question. So what is the advantage of the bar with the existing platform like Ethereum or Substrate or something? Because or Hyperledger, yes. Maybe we need to figure out the advantage, the key point of the bars as compared with the existing platform.
Yeah, this is the common bar models, and with the NutBaas there is some advantages. In the next slide I will present.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Nowadays there are some commercial bar system. First, there is Microsoft Azure. They collaborate with Ethereum and produce Ethereum blockchain as a service. And also there's IBM collaborate with Hyperledger, and another is Amazon blockchain service. There are some disadvantages of them. Firstly, they are relatively monotonous support for blockchain types, such as Microsoft is Ethereum or IBM with Hyperledger. And the second problem is the ability of smart contracts to access external data. There are some paper is research about them, but it still has some disadvantages, and NutBaas can improve them. And the last thing is with Hyperledger, they are not fully monitoring the system, and NutBaas will have them to has the detail and real-time monitoring framework. And there is the architecture of the NutBaas. Firstly, we have 4 layers. Firstly, the resource layer. It provides infrastructure such as storage, database, or network. The second layer is service. It implements blockchain basic service and advanced service. Next, application layer. view the application from the service layer, and the user can choose the suitable solution in application layer for business scenario in business layer, and it provide some mm, provide some em không biết nói từ này sao là cung cấp những cái cơ chế quản lý.
So provides the control management.
Control management such as configuration management includes initial configuration and also runtime configuration, like update. And the second is visual monitoring. It provide user the visual ability of information to have the.
So, Ji-san, can you use the the laser pointer to show in the figure that you were talking about?
Yeah. I forgot it.
Mm.
As you can see in the right side, there are operation monitoring. The first is configuration management. I haven't talked about it. The next is visual monitoring, and the third is user defined upload. This will alert user when there are some sign of for in the runtime. And the last one is automated deployment. It provides the service that deploy from test network or writing testing smart contract, customizing applications. I mean all of the service that user can use. And in detail, with the resource layer, NutBaas provide cloud resource and many of infrastructure of building blockchain. Besides, NutBaas also provide private, public, and hybrid cloud deployment, including Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba Cloud, etc. Another way we can say that NutBaas provides user deploy different peers on different clouds. In addition, NutBaas provide the ability to use Docker and Kubernetes that it help us to automatically deploy our network. In the service layer, there are three sub layers. The first is underlying system, is super blockchain framework for different blockchain types such as private blockchain, public blockchain, consortium blockchain, and also about Filecoin. The second sublayer is developer tools. At here, NutBaas provides developer tools that help user to create some service at a service layer that help user to easily view and monitor the network. And about application layer and business layer is as I talked about previous. It's some in application layer is there are some solution to people can choose to suitable with their business scenario at the business layer. Yeah, and in this slide we will talk about the advantage of the NutBaas compared to existing BAS model. The first thing is transaction behavior checking. In this section is refer to the Hyperledger fabric system. The, in the high in the Hyperledger fabric system, there's not fully checking between between stage to reach transaction in Hyperledger fabric, and in the left side we can see there are 4 stages to read the transaction in Hyperledger fabric. Between stage we always have gRPC checking interceptor. gRPC there's been a remote procedure called RPC, have the high performance and support many environments. And this is a tool. This is the existing tool that I found in the website. And you can see there are 4 stages from identity to commit transaction to fabric order and produce block to leader peer and block synchronization between them. Yeah, to in this technique, they also use the Jaeger technique to support the gRPC checking interceptor. When they get the information, they transmit them to Jaeger client, Jaeger agent, and Jaeger collector, and finally store to a data storage, and user can display or query checking information to monitor their performance of their system. Yeah, the second thing is identity chain technology. Uh, this technology is support the Hyperledger fabric. So in the left side here, we can see there the design of the identity chain. Firstly, the enterprise of the Hyperledger blockchain system need to create identity chain and profile from the existing template of the NutBaas, such as account address or account permission and all the information, and choose algorithm to produce the public key and private key. And in the next step, there will be transmit the identity chain profile to the BAS platform. And here, BAS platform will check and validate the profile, and it will be passed to deploy factory to produce the identity chain, and the user can register to the identity chain. And in the right side, there is the interaction between the identity chain and business chain. There are 4 steps to a user can submit a transaction successfully. First step, when the business chain peer receive the transaction, if the transaction needs to be authorized, it will send a request to the identity chain to obtain random information, include the identity information of the user. Step 2, when business chain peer send the request with the public identity chain information of the user, identity chain peer will check whether the public identity information of the business chain peer send is legal or not. If legal, it will create a random information and send back to the business chain. And step 3, when business chain peer receive the random information, it will use a algorithm to find the random information and send back to the identity chain. And the step for when identity chain receive the information with the signature that this is chain thing, they will check this check whether this is the random information they have sent or not. If choose random information mm, is is used to obtain the public identity chain of the user at the identity chain, and it use the public identity chain user to verify the signature if all pass and the transaction is submitted successfully. Yeah, the third thing is about internal data access compatibility of smart contracts. Mm, at present, there are some research about access external data of smart contract, but the disadvantage of them is not free, and is also offer for Ethereum. And here in the left side, there's the basic implementation logic of not HTTPS module. For smart contracts, it will use HTTPS or HTTP protocol to interact with the accelerator. From not HTTPS module, it will use gRPC to interact with another module named NutBaas message queue, and from the message queue, it will get or send something to external data. Besides, it will write logs to data storage. And between gRPC stub and gRPC server, in this paper, the author use protocol buffer. It's a Google language to have define the format of data that smart contract need to interact with the external data. And in the right side is the parameter format of the request. There are four parameters. The first is URL, which type is string. And the instruction is the uniform resource locator of the external data resource. And the second is params, which type is object, and there is the parameter list of
So
the
yes, maybe we don't need to go much more in detail.
yeah.
I just want to know the overall, I mean, the key idea. But
Yeah.
the detail how to use like how to use NutBaas system, we don't need to know right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The key point is the author use HTTP to interact with external data and use gRPC and protocol buffer to have the easy way to interact with external data. And the last thing I want to show is smart contract security vulnerability detection. In commonly developer or team will manually detect the vulnerability of the smart contract. But in this paper, the author proposed a new method that is use machine learning in common and long short-term memory model in particular. There is as I know, there's the recurrent neural network. In the input of the model, there is the type code and solidity code of the smart contract, and the neural network will help us to classify uh, some vulnerability at the output, and from that we can know there are some fault in the smart contract that we need to fix. And there is the last thing I want to present. I hope you guys are comfortable with my presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, Yi-san. So do you have question?
Yeah.
I mean, the other student, is there anyone has question for Yi-san?
Yes, about the smart contract security vulnerability detection, I think is a good approach for the new technology. It's like the compile blockchain and the AI machine learning. And
yeah, can you give me more your idea about this issue? I do not clearly understand the issue now. Why we need this and how we can detect the smart contract security vulnerability? Why we need and how we do that?
Yeah, commonly people use this conventional way is they work on manually, and in the new ways in this paper, firstly we the author collect the vulnerability in some existing smart contracts, and the author classify their vulnerability at the output layer. There is about 11 vulnerability of smart contract as the output layer. That at the input layer, smart contract is fit to the impact to the neural network, and at the output layer, the 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 neural network will classify the smart contract is what vulnerable that it has, and we can predict uh, the vulnerability of the smart contract, and we can fix them.
Okay, so what criteria to conclude that the smart contract has error or not?
Yeah, as I say, at the output layer, there are some label about vulnerability, and if the smart contract has the issue with one vulnerability, it will act beside at the output layer. There is use a sigmoid function. With the sigmoid function, we only have two values, one and zero. If and there is some level of vulnerability, and if we have the issue with one label, so the label is one, and if there is no issue, the label is
Okay.
zero.
Okay, I see. Yes, thank you. So in that sense, so the detection, we do the detection before deploy the smart contract or during the activation of the smart contract?
Yeah, I think we use the neural network in the development phase of the smart contract.
Before deploy, right?
Yeah, before deploy. Yeah, it's like the smart contract auditor. Yeah, before the your smart contract want to be mainnet and want to be deployed in the mainnet. They usually through the third party like the smart contract auditor. Smart contract auditor will use the tool and from from their their manual can detect some vulnerabilities and yes in the smart contract, and later they will have the report about the smart contract security, and in the from the smart contract side have a I mean the have the chain the code to pick up the security.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yusang, can you go back to the identity system?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. I'm sorry, in this slide during your presentation, I have a phone call, so I cannot focus on here. Can you briefly explain the figure in the left?
Yeah, the figure in the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which case we need this system?
This is the issue that I have. I have not fully understand about hyperledger. Although I have investigated in the hyperledger public system, but the issue is people in the in this paper, I don't really understand about it. So I can just present about the solution.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so let me make question. So identity center, what it do in the identity center here?
Yeah.
Original
In the
identity chain algorithm selection. Okay, just to please identity chain customization. What's different between the identity chain algorithm selection and identity chain customization?
Yeah, in the first step, I talk about is as the enterprise will choose the identity chain profile, and identity chain profile include the user information such as address, permission, and another information, and the most important thing is the algorithm that the enterprise used to encrypt the public key and private key.
Then what's the roles of the BaaS platform in here? What the BaaS platform will do?
Yeah, in the BaaS platform, if you check the identity chain profile that enterprise have sent to this, and uh, if you check and validate if the profile is valid, and the profile will be sent to the deployment factory to deploy the identity chain.
Deploy the identity chain. Can you show me a use case? An example use case.
Yeah.
In which case we use this system?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you do not clear yet, so we may think about it later. Thank you. So with Einstein, I think this is quite related to your work. So do you have any idea or question? Okay, so if no, so I think we end this presentation here. Thank you.